Hey, it's such a privilege to end this particular year's Convo season with one of our very own. Dr. Ben Gutierrez has been here for 16 years, faithfully serving. He started as a student worker and today is our own Vice Provost. We're just excited that we're going to get to sit under his teaching. Come on, put your hands together for Ben Gutierrez, everybody.
Love you, guys. Well, good morning. It's good to be with you. I am very grateful to be with you at the end of your semester. And I really appreciate David and all he means to us and the Provost team and to the leadership. He is not only your pastor, but he's ours too. So would you give him a hand? We really appreciate all that Dave does. And Josh and his team, Ashley, the whole group. This is a great privilege, so thank you very much. I have been thinking about what to share with you at this moment of your semester and for a couple months, and I believe the Lord has placed on my heart exactly what He would like us to meditate on together as we look at the end of our semester. This is the last day of the semester. This is it. I remember that feeling of just wanting to get finals done, just wanting to go home. And so my routine going home was, I'd jump in the car. I liked car rides. I'd get like 18 bags of Dave's sunflower, seeds and get that empty bottle of water and just kind of spit tune there. And then I would just run around. And as soon as I would get home, I'd make my family promise they'd take me to my favorite restaurant, Famous Dave's Barbecue. I just love that place. Just delicious. And of course, at the time, we didn't in Lynchburg have a Chili's, but I would take a beeline straight to Chili's, and that little queso skillet stuff, I would drink that by the gallon, and just kind of go home. I'd play my whole shuffle list, and that Christmas list I made since the month of June, because I love Christmas all year round, by the way, and and then when it got dark, I drove to Detroit, so I would go through the Ohio Turnpike and all that. And by that time, the music's all shuffled, it's all done. So I'd call all my friends, see if they're on the same stretch of road as I am in the right lane on the turnpike. Just calling them and exhausting all my, my phone contacts, and really late. Just wear that flannel pants, comfy long sleeve shirt. Favorite baseball cap, Boston Red Sox, by the way. But I asked for Christmas. I'll be honest, I thought Cleveland, but Chicago Cubs. I'm gonna get that Chicago Cubs hat, and just drive home. And I remember those drives. I remember when the sun sets and it's just kind of, you have a whole lot of time to think because now the semester's over. And it's that moment I want to talk to you about before you go on that drive home, because it's at those moments where you do a lot of thinking and your mind just wandered. You've exhausted everything. You've eaten, you've stopped enough, you're done, you've just done enough, and now you and God start having this conversation, just start thinking. And I think to myself, I remember so many times I would drive and I'd say, it's December, and in August, I just didn't think things would be like how they are now in December. There were like academic hopes and dreams, and I thought certain things would be accomplished by this time, and they didn't, and plans changed, even though I really wanted to turn over a new leaf and really want to try, but and probably I was on good behavior for the first month, and then things got rocky in certain classes, and December came, and I look back and think, man, I wanted to start out, and I started out good, but it just changed. My plans changed. Relationships. Just thinking about the friendships I made and really hoping that things would cultivate in certain environments at church and in groups and in the dorms and in relationships. And then in December, there were breakups and just things didn't work out. And you kind of drive home and you kind of start talking with God, just being honest. Out of no disrespect, you're just like, God, why did you change my plans? I mean, I really thought things were just going to work in this perfect order. Family situations. I know some are not eager to drive home. Some of you may take the long way home because every minute away from home is a little more peace for you. And it's just like, Lord, why? In August, things were great. They dropped us off. We all embraced, we tear. And now in December, it's like all turbulent and fractured. And you're like, Lord, what are you doing? It's like, I would never have thought I had been in this situation in December 3 months, 4 months, 6, 12 months ago. And it's at that moment that I want to share a portion of Scripture with you so that you can rehearse at that very moment in your ride home. When you think about all the plans since August, all the dreams, all the initiatives, all the good intentions that just didn't happen, and they changed. I want you to remember this little proverb. It's Proverbs 16:9. It says, man makes his plans, but God directs the steps. We are accountable to make plans, but we should always have that line item that's open for the Lord to insert a change. And then we take what we've learned from his insertion, and then now we adjust our plans. We always must be open to the Lord, kind of interjecting into our plans and planning our steps. And I want to encourage you that what seems like a change of plans to us, what seems like a change of plan to us is just nothing more than just one more step in God's providential plan. So what we see as a change of plans is really God saying, just trust me, I'm in control. I have a bigger picture involved, and I cannot share the details with you yet. I cannot tell you why you're going through this yet, why I kind of had to push pause on your wishes and ambitions and dreams yet, but you will know, my child, but just trust me in the waiting. I am trustworthy, and I am in control. And there is a story in the Bible that teaches exactly that. If you would just pull up John chapter 11. It's a fantastic chapter, the raising of Lazarus from the dead. John chapter 11 is a very significant theological chapter in the Gospel of John. If you study the Gospel of John, here's kind of how the basic outline goes. You have the first 18 verses of chapter 1. That's called the prologue. It's like an abstract to a journal. It kind of tells you what the whole book is about. And so if you want to know the whole book without reading the 21 chapters, just read verses 1 through 18. It's kind of the abstract, the prologue. And then the drama starts. John chapter 1, verse 19, all the way to chapter 2, 3, and 4. That's what some theologians call the age of inquiry. Everyone's questioning, who's this Jesus? Who's this John the Baptist? Who's this guy? What's going on? And the most question marks appear right there, John chapter 1, verse 19, chapter 2, 3, and 4. Then they get their answers. And then chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up to our passage today is what some people call escalating conflict. You start hearing that people got their answers of who Jesus was and who John the Baptist was, and that he's the Son of God, the Savior of the world. He's claiming to be the sinless Son of God, great I am. And now the hatred boils and percolates and gets worse and worse and worse, and their anger gets worse. So whereas in chapter 5, they get their answers and they start murmuring among each other. Chapter 6, they start interrupting his sermons. Chapter 7, they start doing mob riots. And chapter 8, chapter 9, he has to kind of veil himself in the temple, in the synagogue. And now there's kind of coercion, deception, and manipulation trying to get him killed. And then there is appeals to other little civil and religious officers trying to get him killed, and they're trying to stone him, and he escapes from their presence. So when it turned into just mere anger and internal frustration, now it's escalating to hatred and actually attempts to murder his life. But then you get to our chapter 11. And at the moment Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead, is the moment that every single individual that has escalated their hate towards him all agree at one moment. And trust me, every other day of the week, they hated each other, but they had one thing in common. Religious, civil, all these people, retired people, current religious leaders, current even Roman leaders, they all agreed at this moment, look, I hate you, you hate me, but we have one thing in common. This guy needs to die. And as soon as Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead, they all agree we will work together to send him to the cross. And they had no idea that in doing that, they were going to fulfill John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and dying on the cross for the sins. But they were trying to get rid of a problem. It is right there at John chapter 11. It is the most significant event in the Gospel of John's salvific process. In God's work, this is the most significant moment, because it was at this moment he said, they're going to send me to the cross. Now let me prepare my disciples. But I want to jump right in the middle of that deep theological text, because there's a family that lost a loved one. And frankly, they don't quite care about the theological significance. They need a hug. Their plans have changed. Their brother died. And they called on Jesus and said, help me. Please help me. And Jesus does not act and respond how they thought he would respond. And they're like, is he trustworthy? What's his plan? I served him. I understand Jesus being this way towards people that hated him, but I'm his faithful follower. I mean, think of it. We're his children. I've served him faithfully. I prayed. I've tried to remain faithful. And now I need him to come. And he's not coming to my aid, my need. He changed our family's plans. Literally, I never would have thought he would have died 3 months ago. My life right now would have just been rocked and my world just turned over. And they're right there in the waiting. Whereas we'll be in the drive home thinking about this. They were walking tombside thinking, what did Jesus do? And so they needed an answer. They needed security. And the very answers and response that the Lord gave them is the response that he gives to us. That in the waiting, he is trustworthy. Guys, in the waiting, thinking about why he changed their plans, believe you me, he is always in control. He never sleeps. He never slumbers. He loves you more than life itself. He gave his life for you. He knows everything about your situation. He knows every emotional string that's being plucked. He knows every individual that's attacking you. He knows every intention of every motive, every heartstring. Psalm 121 says he never sleeps nor slumbers. He's never skittish and sluggish to respond. He's never unaware of our response. He knows exactly what you're going through, and he never means ill will against you. He is always in control, and he's just going to whisper in your ear on the ride home, just say, just trust me, my child. Just trust me. I have everything in control. Jesus needed his disciples and followers to go through this situation in order and be inconvenienced, be grieved, in order to provide salvation for the whole mankind. But he can't tell them that yet. So he's just saying, I've got a bigger view. Trust me. Every change of plans, everything that's hurting you, right? Just trust me, my child. I care, I know, and I am in control. And I want to encourage you, that is your message, and that's the message we take home this December. Whatever has changed, relationships, dreams, academic, professional hopes, God is in control, guys. So let's jump right into the middle of this drama. Let's watch these people go through this, and let's learn from their life situation. They had a cry for help just like we always do. John chapter 11, verse 3. Two sisters sent a message to Jesus telling him, Lord, your dear friend is sick. Now stop right there. Notice the phrase, your dear friend is sick. These people do not need to remind Jesus that Lazarus is his dear friend. They have traveled with him for 3.5 years. Think about a friend you've had for 3.5 years, for like your whole college career. And I mean, you need to send them a message. I don't think you would say, hey, friend I've known for 3.5 years, your very, very close friend needs you. You just say their name. Why are they going this far? Why don't they just say Lazarus? They just said, your dear friend. Here's why. They were so desperate to hear from the Lord they have traveled with for 3 years. Because they wanted to, at all costs, persuade Jesus, don't forget, this isn't just a stranger that's asking you to come. This is your super duper duper close friend. So they add these words unnecessarily, your dear friend. See, 3 times before that verse, they have seen mere strangers come to Jesus and say, please come to my house, my loved one is sick. And Jesus didn't. He just stood there and said, I don't need to come out, heal him on the spot. You know what, John Ford, nobleman's son? He came to Jesus, Jesus, heal my son, heal my son. He goes, I don't even need to come to your house. Called an audible, just healed them on the spot. He went home, they put their time together, and they're like, oh my word. A centurion servant came to Jesus, you know the story, and he said, my servant is ill, I need you to come. And he goes, well, I'll just heal him. He goes, no, I'm a man of authority. I speak words, people do it. You too are a man of authority. Just speak the words. It'll be done. He goes, whoa, I've seen no greater faith. Jesus speaks the words right there. Doesn't even go, heals him on the spot. He sees a Syrophoenician woman, her daughter, my daughter's sick, she's on the point of death, please come. And he goes, I don't need to heal her, I'll just heal her on the spot. They had seen, prior to this, 3 times him call audibles right on the spot to heal mere strangers. So how much more will the Lord Jesus hustle to get to his friends? So when you get to Jesus, messenger, tell him, don't just remind him, Lazarus is his really, really good, close follower and friend. He's worshiped Jesus, he loves Jesus, he's served, he's traveled. Certainly he will hustle Certainly he will hustle to get to our brother. Jesus does not come, and he does not heal him. And he turns to those messengers, he says, oh, good friend, he's a good friend. Yes, he is a good friend. He says, then you know what? Good friends don't need a demonstration of my love. If you have a good friend, you don't need him to prove it. You just need your friend to say the word, and they'll run with your promise. So he said, here's my promise. Send this message back. I am in control. They'll trust that. John chapter 11, verse 4. But when Jesus said that, he said, don't worry. Here's my promise. Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. And he doesn't budge. They go home. They find out that right after they left to go send a messenger to Jesus, right after the messengers left, Lazarus was already dead. When he came back, they said, Jesus didn't get here in time. They're like, well, he said he wasn't going to come. Well, too late. He's already dead. And the whole family's like, what? He not only, the messengers are like, he already died. And the people at the home are like, what? He wasn't even going to come anyway? And Jesus says, I'm not going to come. Just tell him I'm in control. And it's right here where we're all at in our ride home. It's right here where we're like, we have so many plans and I haven't heard from the Lord yet. Man, I want this relationship to happen so badly. I want my church to be right. I want to be able to posture myself in this career path and this placement. I'm not connecting with the right people. Just, what? God, why? Why? And it's right here where we start questioning the heart of God. Now, listen, don't miss this. Don't miss this. Something very, very critical happens in the Gospel of John chapter 11. The most important factor of John 11, if you ever study the chapter, happens right here, and don't miss this. Don't miss this. The Apostle John, when writing down this story, at this point stopped writing the story. He stopped writing the drama. And first century authors had the opportunity to, if they believed their story would get circulated among people that may not know the culture, or it would get circulated where people would maybe jump to conclusions or misinterpret the story, first century authors and biographers could insert a sentence and enter a comment kind of almost as a reader's direction to a script, saying, I need to add a sentence, because if I don't add this sentence, you're going to read the next details of the story and actually think that Jesus hates them. If I don't insert this sentence, almost like lenses to a glass, if I don't cause you to look to the next details of the story through this lens, you will think that Jesus absolutely hates them, does not care for them, has total disdain for them, and has never loved them before. You will think that they mean nothing to Jesus if I don't insert this sentence and this amazing truth. And everything you read after this sentence needs to be interpreted by this sentence, lest you misinterpret the story. So don't miss this truth. So John inserts a sentence. John chapter 11, verse 5. Here's the sentence. View everything you listened in this story by this lens, this truth. Now, Jesus loved Martha, loved Mary, and loved Lazarus. Jesus loved Martha, loved Mary, and he loved Lazarus. Don't ever forget that in the next sentence, you're going to see Jesus do something that does not make sense. And it has the great chance of being misinterpreted, but don't forget that truth. Everything you view in the story and everything you view in your life circumstance, everything I view in my life, when it doesn't make sense, I must remember he loves me. He loves me. He loves me. Jesus loves me. Agapao, the most unconditional love there is. Jesus deeply, wholeheartedly, unconditionally loves me. And I got to trust him in the waiting. And John says these people forgot that truth, and they all misinterpreted it. I don't know if you've been misinterpreted, but it is a horrible thing, especially when you seriously love somebody. I mean, have you ever had I think the toughest thing is when you've had a friend misinterpret your action. It's like all they see is just a couple sentences, a couple seconds of a scenario. And you're like, no, that didn't mean that. That you just saw it kind of at a weird moment. And you're like, well, my character will take over. They will certainly interpret the situation by my character, but they don't give you the benefit of the doubt, and they misinterpret you. It's very hard when you're getting misinterpreted, and I think we give God a hard time because we misinterpret him all the time. We're like, Lord, do you really love me? Everyone in this drama, by the way, chose to say he doesn't love us, and we'll see that in a minute. He's not trustworthy anymore. They drew a line to his power. But it's very sad when we get misinterpreted. It's so hard, and that's exactly what the Lord's saying. Don't misinterpret my love for you. I love you. I love you. And when people start misinterpreting it, and once you declare he doesn't love me, that's hard to change in your mind. I've had people misinterpret me. I mean, you've probably been in the same situation. It is so hard, and you get exacerbated. You just are like, no, that's not how it looked. And you're just like, and then people just lock in their minds. They're like, well, you're just that way, or you're just that way. And it's so hard, very hard. And you almost wish you had a narrator like this come into the story and just kind of freeze everything and give the context, but we don't have that privilege. I'll never forget, I battled with that. There's one, I could have used a narrator one time, I mean, just to come in and correct everyone. It was, I got so upset at these people, I'll tell you the story. There's no spiritual value whatsoever, but here you go. Here's the scene. Disney World, Orlando, Florida. The best place in the world. I wish I could live there. It's the only place I can just totally check out. Mentally, it's awesome. So I'm at Disney World. Now, if you live in the Sunshine State, it's hot in the summer. I lived in Jacksonville one year. It's a gorgeous city, awesome. But when you go to Disney, in the summer, the smart visitors will go to the water parks during the day and then go to the parks when the sun sets because it's just so hot. Well, there was this one day, you talk about being misinterpreted. Man, I needed like a narrator, like just this audio narrator to come in and go, freeze it all. But so here's the scene people saw. They thought I was a jerk, but I wasn't. And I get to tell you the context. So I decided to go against my instinct and say, to my wife, hey, I want to take the girls into the park. I know it's during the day. It's 96 degrees. It was 99 earlier, so this is a cool day. So can I take them in? And she's like, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, let's just, I want to get on all the rides that we're unable to go to. So we go to Magic Kingdom. We go to Splash Mountain, which is like, just going to your laughing place. I mean, that just it just makes you jolly. So either way, so we're walking through the park, and if you know Splash Mountain there in Florida, you got to get all the way to the edge and all the way to the end. And so we get there, and we waited 65 minutes in this line. So here's the scene people saw. This is all the people saw, and literally, they cursed at me, and I was like, that ain't cool. So either way, all they saw was a dad with his two daughters who had waited 65 minutes in line, start taking his daughters, Emma here, Lauren here, out. I mean, you know the line. It goes all the way, it winds down, all the way down, and then right at the end of the line, there's the stair steps that goes down, and then you get on the ride. We were right there before we went on the stairs. And all they saw was me turn around, grab two girls, and say, we have to go. And the two girls were saying, I don't want to go. I said, it's for your good. I want to ride. And all I'm doing is going backwards. That's all they're seeing. And people curse me. They're like, let the kids ride. It's freaking vacation. I'm like, no, you don't know. And they're dragging me this way. They're cursing me this way. I'm like losing a little bit of my religion on one guy. But it's just like, you don't understand. I mean, you don't understand. I want to ride. No, you don't, sir, you don't understand. And all I wish the narrator would have come in and went, freeze. Let me please tell you what happened 12 minutes ago. But I didn't get that luxury. But here's what they would have heard. Here's what they would have heard if they wouldn't have jumped to conclusions and misinterpreted me, because they're just sitting there watching me thinking I'm like this crazy, mean, drunk dad, and that I don't love my kids, but actually they would have learned I was a super great dad who really loved their kids. Because 12 minutes before that little scene, we had been in this line for 65 minutes. It starts outside. It's hot. Everyone's sweating. And my daughter's going, Daddy, I'm so hot. And they're like, can you pour water on me? And so, I'm just pouring water on them. And my youngest daughter goes, pour some water on me, pour some water. And I'm not realizing, they're like, more. And I'm like, I poured a Sprite on my daughter. I didn't know it was it looked like water, She doesn't know to this day. So I'm just pouring water on him. I'm pouring water on him. And I'm not realizing, I'm like, this is probably a little bit on the brink of, heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And like more and more, she's getting tired. My oldest one's getting weak. And so I'm carrying her through 65 minutes of this line. And we're going through this rigmarole, and they're hot. And all of a sudden, we get down to the end, and we're about maybe just a couple minutes left, but we're right there at the end of the line before you go down the steps and down. We get right to the end of the line, and they didn't know this detail, and they didn't even bother thinking I was a great dad. But all of a sudden, right at the end of the line, my oldest one goes, Daddy, I'm sick. I don't feel good. I'm like, oh, no. And she goes, Dad, puts her finger to her mouth. Stuff starts coming out the side. I'm like, oh, no. The morning fruit cup's coming back up. And all of a sudden she goes, Daddy, I don't, and I'm just thinking there, and I'm like, oh no. And so there's my oldest daughter. My youngest daughter, right next to us, starts going, Daddy, Daddy. She's having sympathy gags, okay? So she's watching sister puke her guts out. Emma's having sympathy gags. And so I just take Lauren, I turn her into a corner, I'm like, be strong, man, Emma, man up, be strong, And I'm just like rubbing her back, and she's like, Daddy Lauren, Daddy Lala, Daddy Lauren. I'm like, she's okay. And she's like trying now to make herself like throw. It was just like, stop it. And so I'm just like, all this, and she's just like, she's huffing. So I'm like rubbing two backs all of a sudden. So I've got her throwing up. I've got her praying to Jesus, because I'm like, hey, be strong in the Lord and power of his might, pray to Jesus. So she's growing up real quick. So she's praying to Jesus, she's throwing up. And I thought that I had just turned her into a corner, but I turned her into a balcony. A balcony. What do I do? So I've got her praying to Jesus. I got her throwing up. I got people down low going, woohoo, Splash Mountain. This is kind of neat effects, This is like, where's Mom? I don't know what to do. So I'm like wiping things up. I'm just, give me your share. I don't know what to do. Put your hair up somehow, some way. Then, here it is. I grab the girls, Lauren, Emma. We have to go. I still want to ride. No, it's for your good. I don't want to leave. And they're like, you're a horrible dad. I'm like, yeah, you should have tried to scoop that out. Put you in that situation. And it's just like, and you walk out, and they totally, point being, they just totally think you just don't care. You just don't love them. What's your problem? And you're like, you have no idea. That's exactly what the Lord's saying. When you're meditating kind of on this ride home, when you're thinking about why did the Lord change my plans, you only see a split second, but the Lord is doing so much more and you don't know. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, just trust me. So here, the author says, he loves them. He loves them. Don't forget, he loves them. He loves them. Now let's start the drama. Don't forget this truth, because these next details seem like he hates them. John chapter 11, verse 3. Good thing we have these lenses on. So the two sisters sent a message to Jesus telling him, Lord, your friend is sick. So although Jesus loved Martha, and although he loved Mary, although he loved Lazarus, he stayed where he was for the next 2 days. He didn't budge. Lord, what are you doing? Don't forget these lenses. He loves them. John chapter 11, verse 14. So he said plainly, Lazarus is dead, guys, and for your sakes, I'm glad I wasn't there. What? Lord, you love me. You're glad you didn't come? Oh, I'm glad I have these lenses on that he loves me. John chapter 11, verse 17. When Jesus arrived to Bethany, he told us Lazarus had already been in the grave 4 days. Jesus, what are you doing? I've served you. I love you. I'm not the best disciple. I believe, I sometimes pray, help my unbelief, but you know I've been here at Liberty and I've loved you. Why are you treating me worse? And it's at that very moment, wondering why in the waiting, wondering why you're doing all of this. And I'll just tell you this is where all of your knowledge translates into wisdom. This is the moment right here where all of your knowledge translates into experience and wisdom. If you can trust God in the waiting, if you can trust him that he has a bigger plan and he always has your best intentions and love for you in mind, then you can trust him in the waiting. But you're going to have to answer this question: is he trustworthy? Is God trustworthy anymore? And I'll just tell you, you're dealing with this right now in college. Many of you are dealing with this situation. I did. But this type of situation will never leave you alone. You will always experience this lesson. My life situation, older than me, you will always be tempted to question, is God trustworthy and what is he doing in my life? So learn from this boot camp right now, because it will not be your first time and it will not be your last time. Every single individual deemed Jesus as untrustworthy. They thought he was powerful, but then they said you have a limit to your power. You're done. That's the sad story. John chapter 11, verse 21. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you would have been here in time, my brother wouldn't have died. You've done a lot of great things, but he's dead, so, forget it. That hurt. Martha was the leader. Her sister, she influenced, said the very same thing. John 11:32. When Mary arrived and saw Jesus, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, quote, the same quote, Lord, if you would have been here in time, my brother wouldn't have died. That hurt because Mary sat at the feet of Jesus many times. Then John chapter 11, verse 36, 37, when they get next to the tomb, the people who were standing nearby said, see how much he loves him. But some said, this man who healed the blind, couldn't he have kept Lazarus from dying? He was so powerful, but now that the guy's dead, this is where his power falls down. And then listen, is there a point, guys, in your life where you say, I trust the Lord, but at this moment, I deem him no longer trustworthy? Is there a line? Because they drew the line. The loss of their loved one, there's the line. I don't know what it is for you, but maybe it's your relationship. Maybe you're like, okay, God, I get why my academics changed. I get why my grades weren't great. I get even maybe my family. But that relationship, that's the hard one that's stinging my heart so much. And he's saying, no, don't ever draw that line to where I'm not trustworthy. Everyone in the participants of this drama did, but don't you always remember, child, always remember, I love you, and I love you so much, and I'm always in control. I'm always in control. It's at this very moment I want to share with you one very, 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 very important truth. One very important truth about what to do in the waiting. I do this, and I want to encourage you to. When in the waiting, you can do a whole lot of things. This scripture talks about how you should make your own choice. He says, if you believe, you should see the glory of God. I mean, he talks about how you should make your own choice and don't worry about anyone else. But if there's one thing to do in the waiting, guys, one thing to do in your car ride home, one thing to do in your car and tell the Lord, Lord, if it's this lesson I need to learn today, I will learn this lesson today and all this vacation. It is this one truth. I will never forget how God has proven himself in the past. I will never forget how God has proven himself in the past. I am in this situation wanting you to deliver me, but I will never forget how you have delivered me in the past. Never forget, guys, that this is not the first time you've gone through this situation. This is not the first time that he's dealt with you in a turbulent circumstance. This is not the first time where your heart has grieved in pain and agony. This is not the first time that he is taking you through hardship. He has delivered you before, and he has proven himself in the past before to you. Don't ever forget, even though you don't have the answers now, look back on a very faithful God that says, remember when? Remember when I was in control? Remember when you went on campus and you pleaded for me? You cried your heart and looked out into the stars after that Wednesday service and you said, God, I don't think I can make another night. And God just calmed miraculously your soul and then further reinforced it through loved ones and friends that came to you and had no idea the faithful words of Scripture and love and those arms that hugged your neck. They never knew how therapeutic that was to your heart, but it was just God sending angels to you. Never forget that he has once calmed your heart when you were so anxious about what your relationship was going to look like. Never forget how in your family situation you did not know how it was going to be navigated, and he miraculously showed you testimonies of how he touched families all around this place, and your prayers are slowly but being answered in a very unique way. His timing is always perfect, and he has always shown himself faithful. Prior to this miracle, he has healed 29 different people. This whole group saw him heal miraculously people, but they forgot to remember that the very God they're saying is no longer trustworthy had demonstrated miraculous power right in front of their eyes before. They saw him heal a nobleman's son. From a distance, heal a centurion's servant. They saw him heal a Syrophoenician woman's daughter, who she pleaded with him, "Heal my daughter," and he called an audible. They'd forgotten that moment he turned right in front of their eyes and converted water into wine. They saw him in a synagogue heal a woman who had poor posture for 18 years and stopped his teaching and rendered her fully upright and let her walk right out of that synagogue in 18 years upright. They forgot about that woman outside the crowd who had a blood hemorrhaging for 12 years. I said, "Only if I could touch the hem of his garment will I be healed." And in the thronging crowd, she crawled on that ground and touched the tassel of his prayer shawl. And he goes, "Who touched me?" And they said, "Lord, everybody's touching you." He goes, No, her. "Do you believe?" She said, "Oh, I do," and healed her right on the spot. They saw him walk up to a man after 38 years, so desperate, embracing a superstition of maybe he could get thrown in the pool of Bethesda, maybe he'll get healed when the water starts trembling, but it never worked. It was hopeless. And he turned to that man and he said, "Take up your bed and walk." They remember being in a crowded house, hearing the teachings of Jesus, and all of a sudden feeling dirt fall from the sky. And they realized that 4 guys, desperate guys, had lugged their paraplegic friend up onto a roof. And they began to dig a hole into the roof and lower him right in front of Jesus, so desperate for the power of God. And they forgot that they saw Jesus touch that man and literally heal him whole. They forgot a man in a synagogue with a withered hand and rendered it fully functional in front of the crowd, and it said that the crowd was stunned. They forgot him the moment he said that to a school of fish to swarm into 2 nets and nearly break them. They forgot the moment when he turned to Peter and said, "You will catch a fish, for I will command him to bite a hook, to reel up in your hands, to spit out 2 drachma to pay your taxes so you can render to Caesar's what is Caesar's." They forgot that on the 4th watch of the night that Jesus walked on the water and he said, "Do not be afraid." Then they saw that same man that they were doubting tombside empower a mere human being to also walk on the water. And when Peter got his eyes and faith off of Christ and his body started plummeting, they saw the Son of Man get secure footing on H2O and pull a 180-pound man out of the water. They forgot that the book of Isaiah said, "Sure, the lame will leap and the dumb will speak, but the true Messiah will be the only one that makes the blind to see." They saw him in a synagogue heal 2 mute men in Mark chapter 9 so impressively, and it said the crowd was stunned. They saw him in the same synagogue heal a mute and deaf man by putting his finger on his tongue and 2 fingers in his ear, saying Ephatha, being opened. They saw him spit in the eye sockets of a blind man to give him 20/20 vision. They saw him spit on the mud and make mud and put it on the eye sockets of the man and blind man and said, "I want you to go walk this man to the pool of Siloam, and he will wash and receive his sight out of washing out of the pool of Siloam." And they said, "Well, Jesus, the pool of Bethesda's right here." He goes, No. I want you to go to Siloam and wash out and make the blind to see." Well, why? It means the pool of the Messiah. I would rather a blind man receive his sight, according to Isaiah, by washing out of the pool of the Messiah. I thought it'd be a nice touch. They saw him in Luke chapter 11 heal a mute man so impressively that it said the crowd was stunned and speechless. And so to fill the time, he turned to the man and he said, "Would you like to say a few words for the nice people?" And it says that the man's first words were that he opened his mouth and testified of the greatness of God. They saw him in a synagogue cast out a demon who was shouting blasphemies and would not shut up, and he cast them out. They saw him in Mark 5 go toe-to-toe with 6,000 demons that said, "We know who you are. You are the Holy One of God. Do not torment us. Let us go into those pigs." And he bid them farewell. They went, and the pigs ran out, and they all came to the city to see the demonic man clothed in his right mind. They saw a father bring his son to the disciples, and then Jesus came and he said, "Jesus, Jesus, I brought my son to this disciple, and this disciple, and this disciple, and this disciple, and nobody can heal him." And the Lord said, "Guys, I'm telling you, that comes out through nothing but prayer and fasting." And he touches the chest of that boy, and he revives and reunites him with his dad. They saw him feed 4,000 people with just 7 loaves and a few fish, and they saw him feed 5,000 men with just 5 loaves and 2 fish. They should have known that he was powerful and was the power and the love and was mighty to save, because they had seen him work in the past. And you say, "But Ben, Lazarus does not have a withered hand or a spiking fever. Lazarus is dead. I mean, cut him some slack." Oh, no. They not only saw him once, but twice already raised someone from the dead. Jairus' daughter, widow's son. They had seen him work and deliver in the past, but they forgot. What is your miracle? What is your mighty deed? What was it on the ride home when you start asking God your honest questions? What are you going to rehearse in your mind where you say, "But God, I must remember that back then in my last year, you delivered me so profoundly, and I will never forget it. Therefore, I will never forget today." What is that miracle in your life? Maybe he freed you from bondage. Maybe he cured your mind from thinking total wickedness and turned you to meditating on righteousness. Maybe he firmed up your relationship and your loved one gave you another chance, and now you're honoring the Lord. Maybe he knitted your family together. What is that miracle you're going to say, "God, even though I am in the waiting, give me wisdom to remember how you've delivered me in the past"? Because, guys, he'll do it again. And he'll do it again. And he'll do it again. And he will do it again. Jesus' words to Martha are the words to us. Tombside, he turned to Martha and he said, "Martha, if you believe, you will see the glory of God." If you believe, you will see the glory of God. Student, if you believe, you will see the glory of God. But in the waiting, you must trust him. Never forget this, guys. No matter your circumstance, no matter your emotional struggle, never forget that he is always in control, and God's timing is always perfect.